Good evening, everyone. 6:30, time for the welcoming session for our domain business continuity. I'm very glad to have you on board and listen to our domain leads and to our challenge leads and also to our domain board members. But before we kick it off, we have a special guest with us tonight, the man and the master of ceremonies for this hackathon. Isidro, thanks for joining, and let me give the mic to you.
Thank you, Oliver, for inviting me for this domain lead. And a really pleasure to be with all of you now. We just come from the opening. That was a wonderful experience as well with the commissioner and so many high-level position people in the EU. It has been really great to see all those people coming together, no? But all the value and all the recognition should go to you, Oli, and for people like you who has been running the extra mile from the beginning, no? Michael explained very well today in the opening, no, how all this started in a voluntary basis, and how this has been growing and growing, and now we are where we are. So really happy to be with you. And as I said before, in this particular business continuity domain, the challenge is to be ready for the future. People are dying. Many more people are going to die. And they will be in this situation until we have find a vaccine. So for the next 18 months, maybe hopefully getting out of our house, but maybe coming back in the future. So we'll be in a difficult situation. And you, the ones in this domain, you have a responsibility to find the solutions that will allow us to have our economy surviving. And economy is not a word in our life because it looks like very abstract. No? Is that we all need to eat, and we need to feed our kids. And for that, we need to continue doing business. No? So to ensure this business continuity is certainly something that is a big challenge nowadays, and you have the capacity to solve that, and you are the ones who can do that. So I don't want to take more of your time because I think Oli and the rest of the domain team business continuity has a lot of details to share that are much more worth it than anything I can say. I just can say this big responsibility lies on your heads, your shoulders. Please do your best, come with good ideas, and we will in the commission with this idea of the matchathon, we will try to combine those ideas with all the partners, the 600 partners that we have who are looking for the best ideas to provide funding to them. So don't hesitate to come with crazy ideas so that we can really have an impact in the life of the people.
Thank you, Isidro. Crazy ideas, and then put them into execution. And let's have a look all together. We're now 280 listeners already and participants, and this is for all of you guys to get a better understanding of what the challenges are on and how they are designed. And the way we're going to do this tonight is I'm going to guide you through with a couple of housekeeping items where you find certain material, so all the resources. And I'm really promising to keep that very short and sweet. And then after that, we'll have the different responsibles for the challenges that will give you some more background on what you will be working on the next 48 hours. And this will then be the starting point. Carla is assisting me in actually chairing this domain. And we will also be sharing this presentation afterwards on Slack, right? So don't ask that questions, of course. It's being shared, and I'm gonna run through the first couple of slides. So nothing is lost afterwards. It's being shared. All right, Carla, let's jump into the housekeeping. What do we have? First of all, the agenda. We're here today, Friday. It's past 6:30 already. We are in the domain webinar, and afterwards we're going to start hacking all together. At 9 o'clock, you probably heard already that your team should be submitted on DevPost. And by having read through the different channels on Slack, We already know that DevPost experienced some difficulties because of the heavy workload the platform has to absorb. We talked to them 3 weeks ago. We made them aware of the fact that the load is going to increase tonight, and hopefully they get it solved and you'll be able to submit by 9 o'clock. If this is not the case, then we are a working group. Just raise your hand, bring it up, and we're there to help you and solve those problems that will most likely arise because it's done as we go, but just communicate as much as possible so we'll be able to help. Then tomorrow is a very packed day because we not only organize hacking sessions for you, but we also made sure that you have access to experts and access to resources. This comes along in forms of different expert webinars, also Q&A sessions with companies, and a live Q&A session in the evening. And then, of course, as long as you want to go in the night, up until the next morning on Sunday, when you have a morning wake-up live stream every morning at 9 o'clock. And it's all Central European Standard Time. Please keep that in mind, that this is always the time that is being illustrated in the different presentations. And then it mentions here 5 p.m. submissions. This is actually a mistake. This is what the first time was, but we pushed it forward until the next week. So I think as of now, it's going to be 9 o'clock on Monday, also Central European time. We're going to make sure that it's properly communicated, but just bear that in mind. And then we have the closing ceremony at 6 p.m. on Sunday, where I think after 48 hours, we have pretty much deserved to celebrate ourselves and all of the voluntary work that has been put into the ideas and solutions that you came up with. Next slide, Carla, please. Yes. That's the source of everything, your participant information kit. We'll post a link to that afterwards. Please read it. I know it's a couple of pages to read, but it's a really good prerequisite to get you going and to get started. And we are hoping that a couple of questions that we'll be shaping throughout the hackathon will basically be buffered by this information kit already. So please be so kind and take the time. Get familiar with Slack, of course. You might have noticed when you entered that there were a couple of generic channels you were automatically subscribed to. Those are the single point of truth where you can find useful resources. You can read how to submit your solution, how to find a team, a mentor, a channel directory. This is being updated. We understand that there's being channels as we go along. And those of you that are familiar with Slack know that at any given point in time, you can browse Slack by channel browsing on top also. So take the time to get familiar a bit. Channel checklist. This is something I'm not going to go through in detail, but we have a certain system by which we organize the channels and by which you can obviously also search. There is a nomenclature of how to establish your team channel, and then also some emojis that you can add to your name. There's 2 platforms, and you might have noticed that already. One is Slack. I think most of you are familiar with that platform. And the second platform is DevPost. And why did we use DevPost? DevPost is there to have an inventory and a submission opportunity for your ideas so that we can have them in one platform. Slack doesn't provide that feature that DevPost has, and we'll make sure that those are in sync. And when you submit tonight, your team, it doesn't have to be a full submission. Obviously, you cannot submit the video already and all the material that goes along with it. But just press submit without a video, without anything, because otherwise it's not captured and we cannot download the data and sync it with our Slack structure. we were saying that, and there was a question already in the chat, that the maximum number of team members is 7. We're saying this because we believe it to be a good team size. If you are 8, I wouldn't recommend to do so, but if you come in as a team of 8, then go ahead. I don't think this is going to be a deal breaker when it comes to the evaluation. And of course, you can also come in as an individual and then go to the channel, ask for a team or also team coordinator then who's going to help you. Yes, those are different features. Again, we'll post that. I'm not going to go through that in detail. Be aware of the checkpoints. There's different ones. We're going to announce them on Slack. The first one is tomorrow at 10 o'clock Central European Time. Then there's another one tomorrow night and Sunday also at 10. Tools and resources, this is also posted in the Slack channel. There's different ones. We have numerous partners that are also providing really cool applications by which you can ease up your work. Just a hint from the organizational team, we use Miro or Mural or whatever kind of Canvas tool. It serves really well when you collaborate virtually and lays out planning really nicely. I mentioned that already. 2 formats, basically, you can submit by text. There's different categories posted on DevPost, and it would be really good, or this criteria, to submit a video pitch. So when you start working by tonight on, think about how to compose the video pitch beforehand to not get stressed in the very late minutes. Yes, so to summarize, step 1, read the participant kits. And step 2, ask your team coordinators in the relevant channels. The C question mark, this is going to be your respective challenge, and we posted a summary already on Slack. Having said this, I'm done, and I'm very happy now to actually lead over to the wonderful introductions of our challenges. And I would like to start with the challenge number 9, CO9, efficient teamwork. And I hand it over to the efficient teamwork team, which is Petra and her team.
I believe this is Anna first. Petra, I will start, right?
Sure.
Carla, if you can, yes, thank you. So I'm Anna. I'm a lead of the Efficient Teamwork Challenge. And over this weekend, you will be helped also by Pierre-Luigi and Yasser. And we are part of the super efficient team that have organized Hack for Italy just in 5 days. We've also managed to 2 tracks of the global hack in no time. So I believe we truly know what the efficient teamwork means. And if you have any questions, please feel free to jump into our channels, C09 or on Slack, and we will be happy to assist you. And having said that, I don't want to waste your time anymore. I wish you all a productive and efficient weekend, and also don't forget to have fun. And I would like to pass this virtual stage to Petra, our domain board member, and Petra will further explain what this challenge is all about.
Yes, thank you very much, Anna and Ollie. And Carla, would you mind jumping to the next slide, please? Yes, hello. I'm just only want to walk you through some points. I think they are very important in efficient teamwork. And I was the member as the German big hackathon, VirusVirus, and the Swiss one. And I would just like to give you some ideas where I think you should focus on. The first one, if you build a team, is just define the problem you want to solve. That's very important. What also is very, very important from my point of view, don't reinvent the wheel. Check where is your USP. And once you have done this, it's, in my eyes, very, very important to just define in your team who is doing what. So IT, that's obviously, but obviously marketing, branding, communication, who's going to be the one who's providing the video. If there's none in your team, there will be tons of people helping you in the Slack. And very important, the numbers guy, the business plan is very, very important for a successful project. What is also very important from my point of view is that you onboard partners on a very early stage, and partners maybe also sponsors, commercial or also civil society people, corporations, those groups who have a real interest in your solutions and could provide content related or financial support. And then what I really also do believe is very important, agree on someone who really has the overall responsibility for your project. And yes, sure, you will run into challenges, don't give up. And what you also should do, you should really agree on regular meetings, drink, coffee breaks, etc. And last but not least, I think it's very important that you have fun. And also, I really want to stress the fact this is a wonderful opportunity to extend your network. And this is from my side. And I would like to hand over to the next challenge.
Thanks, Petra. Awesome. Then let's come to challenge 2, which is new and resilient business models. And for introducing that challenge, we have Falco and Leo with us tonight.
Thanks a lot, Ollie. If you can go to the other slide, please. Okay, I'm Leonardo. I'm really happy to be with you all. I'm the lead of this challenge. So, new resilient business model. I've seen that there are already many projects submitting, so I'm really happy. I'm at your disposal with all the teams that you have seen in the other slide. This is a very small part of the team because the team grew up very much in the last couple of hours. So I'm sorry if there are not everybody in that slide, but you can find us on Slack, as Ollie already said. Here you see all the things that you already know. You apply to this slide, so you know what you are gonna do on this challenge. And I don't want to lose time because we have to act, and I want to give the floor to our domain board, Falco, to explain even better our challenge. Please, Falco.
Thank you very much, Leonardo. Pleasure to be on the call. I hope that you're all doing well and looking forward to the challenge. I manage restructuring and reshaping results in EMEA for EY, and I sit on the global COVID response team, so I have a bit of experience every day with the current situation. Just a few inspirational thoughts maybe, what we currently get confronted with, and I keep this very compact. What's on decision makers' minds at the moment? What we've been observing over the past few weeks is that most decision makers tackle the situation in steps. Currently, they are in a phase that we would consider as the now. Business continuity is the most important aspect. This is about protecting employees and financing and the minimum viable operational level. We are slowly moving into an adaptive phase when operations get adapted to the new circumstances and the lower level of activity. Supply chain problems get fixed and short-term cost savings get realized. And then we will move into an interesting phase that is about increasing resilience. And this is, I think, a very interesting field for you to think about. Digitization in administration and production, digital customer access, all of those elements make companies more resilient in times like these. Also flexible workforce, virtual working, all of those elements come into play under the resilience banner. And then companies will move into reframing their business model simply because we have to expect some behavioral challenges that this crisis will bring along. At the same time, and that's marked below, certain key values have to be considered around consumer, around human interaction, societal aspects, and also financial aspects, and they should be kept in mind. So this is not only about efficiency. And finally, the underlying assumption that we have is that we will go through a pretty shallow and bumpy recovery phase with occasional stops and goes for various reasons. So good crisis management and good operational management may also need digital support. So just a few ideas where in which directions you may want to think. Thank you very much and good luck.
Thank you to all of you presenters. That is neatly put and really good context for all the participants. Then we're moving on to value chains or supply chain and logistics. And I have quite a large team here on my piece of paper, but I'm seeing that Alex is actually the challenge lead, and maybe Alex, you go first.
Sure, thanks, Ollie. Yeah, I'm Alex. I'm the founder of Startup Bootcamp and a partner at Rainmaking. We're an innovation firm working with large and small organizations, designing and implementing innovation programs. And in a former life, I was moving things very fast around the world with DHL. So I do have that background. If you can click, we've put the board members on different slides. What I've done, just to let you know up front, is I've done 5-minute interviews with each of these people, and I'm going to be posting them on our challenge info channel tomorrow, just to get their views on what's it like in the real world. So we have Barbara, who's the CEO of the Copenhagen and Malmö port. If you click on the next one, Anna is the tech lead at Flixbus. Next, Jens Ball, actually, his mother is sick right now, so he's probably out for the weekend, but very interesting background with DHL and crisis management. Jacob runs a trailer company that he owns. Next, Nicholas was at Maersk a long time, is now a partner of Rainmaking, and he's focusing on transport and logistics globally. Very interesting perspectives. Next. So this is our sort of view of the end-to-end supply chain in the regular world. And the same word that Falco mentioned is resiliency. So that's safe, top right. This is the big topic right now for the next 6 to 12 months. So if there are things where, you know, we could suggest that people focus on this challenge, it's this. And if you click on the last slide, this is just a deep dive on what we mean by resilience. And I'll be posting these as well. But transparency, agility, even changing the world with additive manufacturing, moving things less around, autonomy. There's a lot of topics that are going to come up to sort of de-risk and just make us more adaptable. And if there's one area, I mean, health obviously has been massively impacted, but supply chains are, I mean, just completely upside down right now. And I think we're in for some very interesting 6 to 12 months with a lot of change. So big opportunity for startups to get implemented quickly. So excited to be part of it, and see you during the weekend.
Very good, Alex. Thanks for the introduction. Then we're moving on to the next challenge, which is protecting employees. And for protecting employees, we're welcoming Greg and his team.
Thanks, Ollie. Hello, everybody. Business continuity is not only about supporting businesses and companies, but it's also about supporting workers and employees across Europe. So with this, welcome to the Protecting Employees Challenge. My name is Greg Drost. I work at the European Commission's department responsible for industrial policy, entrepreneurship, and single market. Where I'm personally responsible for coordination of the European industrial policy, but I'm also part of the team working on COVID response from the angle of my DG. Why protecting employees is important, and why we would like you to get engaged in this challenge. Of course, COVID has a big impact on the health, well-being, and livelihood of millions of people across Europe, but obviously it has also a big impact on employees and workers. I think many of you, either personally, unfortunately, or through the experience of your friends or loved ones, have heard about cases of people who are afraid about their employment, about their wage, about coming back to the office. So the challenge is big, and if we want to ensure that we will be able to kickstart our economy soon again, we also have to look at this very important aspect. There are some things that have already been done. Just to give you a flavor, The Commission has launched weeks ago a big scheme of 100 billion euros that was directed to member states to help companies on national level to ensure that workplaces, salaries and jobs are kept. But of course, much more needs to be done on both short term and mid long term. And now I will ask my colleagues, Carolina and Adam, to tell you a bit more about it. Thanks and good luck.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carolina Gario, and I also work for the European Commission dealing with industrial strategy, social innovation, and other forms of innovation, as well as dealing with COVID right now. I would just want to say a couple of words about what we mean with this challenge, and it's really about phase 2. It is really about returning to work and protecting the workers. In this sense, we're looking for some smart, effective, and efficient solutions that will allow to protect our employees, our customers, and also our business partners. And this means reimagining the workplace and reimagining the way that we carry out human interaction. And to a great extent, it will be about thinking how will restaurants, for instance, work to keep their business going within the new situation, how clothes shops will work, like once you try on your clothes and then you need to put them back, how will you ensure that this is safe for everybody? But this also applies to line workers in factories, cleaning services in many places. And this will require, on the one hand, tailored solutions, which are specific to some sectors, but on the other hand, it would also require some cross-sectoral solutions that can be either technical or business model innovations. So we're looking really for a variety of solutions here. So this could be like changes in business models, new ways of organizing the workplace, but also new ways of just solutions to keep shared spaces clean, hygienic, and safe for everybody. So without taking any more of your time, I just wanted to thank you all for contributing and for the contributions you will make over the weekend, and wish you all good luck.
Alan, are you there? Would you also like to contribute? Or was that slide just meant to present Adam? I guess it's just the introduction. Okay, then we move on to the next challenge, which is coined Demonstrate Purpose. And we have two wonderful speakers. One is Agnieszka and the other one is Katja. Over to you.
You know?
Yes, now we can hear you.
Okay, so hello, my name is Agnieszka. I'm managing Google for Startups, and I also wanted to introduce you the challenge leader for this track, Katja Rabasa. And Katja has been managing entrepreneurship programs for tech-based companies, as well as several international projects at Madrid Science Park Incubator. We are both very excited to be part of this great initiative and can't wait to see the innovative ideas and breakthrough solutions that will for sure come out as a result of the hackathon. We have recently seen many funders and startups shifting their business models due to the current situation, but far from backing down, they have decided to tackle COVID-19 related challenges. As you can see on the next slide, I'm presenting here some images coming from startups and partners in the Google for Startups network who have rapidly adopted their products and their services to support their communities in this time. We have seen startups pivoting to create virus tests or protective equipment, other offering therapy services to care workers or phone calls to the elderly. These startups banded together to build apps for local governments to track the spread of the virus. This is just a tiny slice of the many individuals and companies springing into action around the world. Why I'm talking about it? Because this Demonstrate Purpose Challenge track is about how we help them. It's about how to support these problem solvers We need actually you to hack solutions that help them connect and drive even more impact. Solutions that get their innovations into the right hands, share knowledge with fellow innovators, support collaboration, and speed each part of this process. You can see summary of everything that I would just covered on the next slide, showing you what exactly is expected. So from platforms to connect, solutions to the hospitals, businesses, governments, to knowledge sharing, tools connected with collaboration, everything connected with accelerating production and distribution processes. I would like to wish you all good luck with the challenge and thank you in advance for all your contributions. Thank you.
Thank you, Agnieszka. Moving on to the next challenge, which is even more customer centricity in times of crisis. And I'm giving the stage to Renata and to Andre.
Hello, good evening. Good evening. And welcome. This is. I think my connection is not super.
Yeah, there's an echo.
So maybe I'll give it over to Renata.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's better.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, that's good.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I hope you can hear me and follow me. Hello to all the participants. And it's a pleasure, it's a privilege to be talking to 430 plus people. We are in the challenge Stay Close to Your Customers. And when we think actually that external customers and internal customers, the employees, and the supply net participants, so we are actually addressing everybody with this challenge. So it is broad enough. I have a pleasure to present Andre. So Andre Convent, who is coming from Procter & Gamble, but also affiliated with many innovative hubs and associations. And the plan. So can we go one slide before, please, Carla, Oli? Just with the profile of Andre. And since the audio is not working, then please look him up on LinkedIn, because he is the one who brings the innovation for 3 decades in the institutions, and actually has a lot to contribute to our domain, but also in general to the hackathon. Speaking about me, just briefly, I used to be a banker for almost a decade. So head of HR, branch manager, project coordinator, the person in the middle. And then I moved to academia to pursue a double PhD degree. And actually I focused on tactical management and tactical management information systems. So the combination, which I also recommend to every one of you who are addressing our challenge, the multidisciplinarity actually. I'm also evaluator for 6 years now for the European Commission, ICT Open Disruptive Innovation Scheme, so the SME instrument, and now turned into a EIC accelerator, giving equity and grants and funding. So it's a combination of profile. I hope to invest in all of your also questions and issues and guidelines that you may need. Can we go a little bit to talk a little bit about the challenge? So if I may ask you as audience, please prepare to type something briefly. We would like to direct you to some things like, can you achieve with your project or idea clarity of purpose? Can you please type in few words, what is the purpose of your project? Or in lean terms, as Andre said when we were discussing previously, what is your pain to solve? So I'm waiting for some answers. And in the meanwhile, we will try to guide you through it. So usually in hackathons, there are stages to go through. So initially, you have to be clear, what pain am I solving? I'm not just making a code. I'm not addressing. So think about outcomes, not outputs, what I will deliver, what will be achieved. That's what this world is missing. Okay, perfect. We have something from Laura. Enabling competencies by connecting entrepreneurs. Okay, clear enough. And it's something that to be judged when it's achieved, not when it's delivered. Support sustainable local food economy. Support, yes, but support is something ongoing. It doesn't cannot be measured that much. Cannot be can be a good starting point, and then you need to clarify what outcome does it produce. Co-produce with trade associations, unions. Okay, co-produce also a status, a stage. We will go into them if you want later on. Novelty is something you have to think. The real life is multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, interdisciplinary. So please think don't think in silos. Usually we say, okay, I'm a coder, I'm a developer, I'm a graphic designer, I'm business manager. So real life is multidisciplinary. So please try to make your team, assemble it with different capabilities, even from different countries. On the bridges of interdisciplinarity and transdisciplinarity is where the magic happens. That's where the innovation actually, that's the birthplace of innovation. Strategy, tactics, and operations, all a must. I'm not sure that you will have them all now in this hackathon, but as the general manager of the project, Mr. Isidro Lazo said, there will be follow-up. This is a big picture, and this is just the beginning. And refer, as in any project and in any challenge, to the evaluation criteria: impact, technical complexity and novelty, prototype completion, and business plan. Can you go to the next slide, please? The final slide for our presentation. So stay close to customers, to your customers, business continuity domain, but also please stay close to your instincts. That's nature's domain. Stay close to your team, mentors, friends, and loved ones. Close within 2 meters, but with the family and friends even closer. That's co-evolution and value co-creation domain. Stay close to your courage, creativity, and collaboration, because this pan-European global hackathon is the domain that we are addressing. It's not, this is the time not just to adapt to the change that coronavirus brought to us as a world, but also initiate positive change. And that's what we are encouraging you to do. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Renata, for the summary. Moving on to the very last challenge, which is actually a wildcard challenge, summarizing it by others. And this challenge and their participants or their owners took a different approach. They ideated bottom up already. And I understand that Sarah is going to have the opening words, and then Peter, one of the ideators, is going to take over. Sarah, over to you.
Yes, right. So welcome from my side. My name is Sarah Rossmann. I'm from Euronovia, a consulting company in Paris, which is led by Virginie Robin. And yeah, we are leading the business continuity other. So it gives you the opportunity to be flexible, or be a bit more flexible about your project you want to develop. That should be linked to the challenge which Peter will be presenting, which is keep people working. And now I'm giving the word to you, Peter.
Thank you, Sarah, and good evening to everyone. So my name is Peter. I'm from Germany, but working for a Dutch technology company. We are a startup creating matching technologies. And I was asked, among others, to provide an idea what to work on. And if you go to the next page, it's about keep people working. So companies having trouble, I think that's known. Employees and freelancers are suffering not having enough work, not having income or not enough income. So both sides are suffering a lot. So there are lots of initiatives already on a local level or on a sector level to move people from one sector to the other sector. But that's specific to, for example, the medical, where it's very obvious. But there are lots of industries who have the same problems. And on one side, there are companies not having enough work and other companies having too much work. So how can you move more people from one industry to the other, at least temporarily? Because in the end, they have to move back to the old job because the companies want to continue when it's all back to normal. And so this is a challenge because that's usually not working through the traditional systems we have on the market. So there must be new systems, new ideas, new concepts in the end to save jobs, incomes, and of course companies. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Peter. So we are looking forward to your project ideas, which are linked to the focus, keep people working. Thank you.
Cannot be heard. Can you guys hear me now? Yeah, I think so. Thank you all. Thanks, Peter. Thanks, Sarah, for presenting the last challenge. We'll now move on to some Q&A. We got some questions in, and I would like to point out a couple of those. The first one is, how does the weighted judging criteria map to the sections in the text pitch sections? For example, which portion of the text pitch should address the impact potential? Are you also looking for market size numbers, etc.? So the answer here is, I think what's being looked at most is progress and execution. What did you achieve throughout the weekend? And it doesn't matter whether you write 2 sentences or 3, unless you provide some kind of demo, a prototype of what you're working on. If it's a concept, then it should be conceptualized in a neat way. So it all depends on when you started as a new team, then it can be easily evaluated how far you got in 48 hours. And it doesn't matter whether you submit a paragraph or 2 paragraphs. And then when it comes to the weights towards the different judging criteria, we haven't attributed weights yet, and I don't think there will be any. If there's any, they will be communicated on time. Second question, will we also have answers for the mentor coordinators during the webinar? We didn't, and I think there's other meetings for the mentor coordinators. Carla and myself, we're not meant to spread the news and fake news on mentor coordinators. That's why we leave it to a separate session. All right, then we have, if our challenge has been explained and everything is clear, can we leave? I think this participant already left. What is more important regarding this hackathon, to be innovative or to be impactful? That was addressed in the opening ceremony. Please be impactful. If you can be innovative and solve problems and impact 1,000 lives at the same time, then it's great, but the impact is at the forefront. Then there was a question on how to download the presentation. I answered this one already. It's going to be shared on Slack in the automatically open channels or in our open channels with correct titles. I don't get this question. Oh, yeah, it's going to be shared in our domain channel, where everyone is pretty much entitled to read and write. Can you provide us with a link where we can choose our team? This is something, either you applied as a team, then you're automatically forwarded to your own team channel. If not, then please be on the lookout for your team. If not, contact a team coordinator that is going to assist you in finding team members. Protecting people by a queuing solution. This is, I think, the answer to Renata's question. We address more than one challenge. Is it possible to switch from C11 to C15? Should be. I know it's not a clear answer, but it should be possible. Please bring it forward in our joint channel again, and we'll try to resolve that.
Yes, it is possible. Just add yourself to the channels and please update your DevPost submission with the right channel and your latest choice of your challenge.
Very good. Single point of truth, DevPost. All right. And then taking out a last one. After listening to the webinar, our idea might be better in a different challenge. Is it possible to switch? We answered that one already. Then maybe one last one. Could you please confirm how important or not it is to have a prototype of the website app? If you were to ask me, I would put a lot of emphasis because it shows really the depth of your development over the weekend, over the 48 hours. If you don't have skills or capabilities inside your team, go and look for them. There's plenty of team members that are still looking for teams that might have the skills to come up with a productive prototype, so to speak. Okie dokie. It's a 1:15, and I don't know whether there's any closing remarks from our board members and challenge leaders. Is there anything you would like to share before we head off to work?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Have fun.
And have fun. So 2 points, good luck and have fun, and we'll see each other again in the different live streams and Q&As. If there's anyone needing to organize a webinar like this one, please approach us. Happy to share the credentials. And then it's done, we're there. Go ahead, have fun hacking. See you soon, see you on Sunday latest. Bye-bye.